Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do a package of CCNA1 version 7, 2.3.7 package navigate the iOS. Here the iOS stand for Internetwork Operating System. Objectives part 1, establish basic connections, access the CLI and explore help. CLI here stand for Command Line Interface. Part 2, explore executive modes. Part 3, set the clock. This activity no score requirements, so just practice skills necessary for navigating the Cisco IOS, such as different user access modes, various configuration modes, and common commands used on a regular basis. You will also practice accessing the context-sensitive help by configuring the clock command. So instruction part 1, establish basic connections, access the CLI, and explore the help. Okay, as I said, the CLI is a command line interface. Remember that there are two types of network operating system. One is GUI-based network operating system. One is CLI-based operating system. Cisco uses the CLI-based operating system on their devices. The difference is GUI operating system use a mouse to make selections and run programs. And the CLI-based operating system use the keyboard to run network programs. That's a difference. Cisco devices use CLI-based operating system. So here the basic connection is using the console cable. And look at the bottom left corner. Here there's a connection icon. We click it. There are different cables or connections are displayed. This light blue cable is called console. We click it, and then we click PC1. And we select RS232 port. What is RS232 port? The RS stands for recommended standard. So this port is recommended standard 232 port. It is a type of serial communication used for transmission of data. So we select this port and drag the other end of cable to S1 and click on S1, find the console port and click console port. So now these two devices, PC1 and S1, are connected. Here, let's talk about the console. The console actually is a physical management port. It provides out-of-band access to a Cisco device. Out-of-band access refers to access through a dedicated management channel that is used for device maintenance purposes only. It is accessible even if no networking services are configured. So console connection is very good for performing the initial configuration. But the console connection has a requirement to the computer. The computer has to download a terminal emulation software, and from this software to access its switches or routers. All right, so let's go to PC1. We click PC1, then desktop, then terminal. There's a terminal emulation software. We click it and check the terminal configuration default setting. The bits per second is 9600 bits per second. All right, it's a data bits is 8. So everything is fine. We click OK. So on the screen, there are some information are displayed here. At the bottom, you will see press return to get started. So press enter. Okay, so now the prompt changed to S1 followed by a greater than sign. So that means we are in switch 1, S1 now from PC1. Okay, we access S1 from PC1 now. So this mode, S1 followed by a greater than sign, this mode is called user executive mode. User executive mode. This is user executive mode look like, how it look like. All right, so so now we can type, so now we can start to work now on S1. We can type the command. But what command are there available for us to type? If we remember that, we can type it. But if we forget or we don't remember that, we can find it by using a tool. Here, I use the question mark. Okay, question mark. After question mark, the bunch of commands are displayed. On the left column are the commands we can use. On the right column, on the right side, are the explanation to the command to tell what this command is used for. All right. So here there's a command begins with the letter C, which is called connect. All right, connect. This is used for open a terminal connection. This connect. All right. So, and if we know the command begins with the T, the letter T, we can type T, then question mark. Okay. So now there are three commands are displayed: telnet, terminal, and traceroute. So from here you can tell too. Telnet, terminal, and traceroute. So there are 3 commands begin with letter T. How about the TE and question mark again? Yes. So there are 2 commands, telnet and terminal. These 2 commands begin with TE, these 2 letters. All right. This type of help to find the command we need is called context-sensitive help. It provides more information as the commands are expanded. Okay, so we tested this part. Next part 2 is explore executive modes. In this activity, you will switch to privileged executive mode and issue additional commands. Okay, so from here, the commands list, you can see there's a command which is called enable. All right, enable. The explanation is turn on privileged commands. So now we can type. So if we want to enter privileged executive mode, we need to use this command enable. Okay, so we can type enable. And we have other way to get this command, which is I only type EN, the first 2 letters, then press tab key, T-A-B, tab key on the top left corner, tab key. Then you will see the enable this command is displayed. All right, so this is called command completion or tab completion. When part of a command is typed, the tab key can be used to complete the partial command. All right. But if the character we typed are not enough to make the command unique, this tab completion doesn't work. I show you an example, like a TE. After TE, I press tab key, but it doesn't work. Tab key doesn't work. That is because the TE, the letter I typed, are not enough to make the command unique, because there are 2 commands begin with the TE, letter TE. One is telnet, one is terminal. All right. So we need to add one more letter, like a L, then tab. So it works telnet, or TER, tab, so terminal. So this is how the tab completion work. Let's go back to the enable, because we're going to enter privileged executive mode. So EN tab, so enable, we press enter. So now the prompt changed. Before, the user executive mode, it ends with the greater than sign. Now switch to pound sign. So this prompt ends with pound sign is called privileged executive mode. Privileged executive mode. All right. And let's see what comments are there available in the privileged executive mode for us to use. I still use question mark. Okay, question mark. So there are more commands are displayed in the privileged executive mode. Look at before, in the user executive mode, there is only one command, begin with letter C, which is connect. Here in the privileged executive mode, there are totally 5 commands begin with letter C. There's a clear, clock, configure, connect, and copy. So privileged executive mode has more command to use. That's a difference. And because the difference, the user executive mode allows access to only a limited number of basic commands. So it is often referred to as view-only mode. But privileged executive mode allows access to all commands and features. And the users can use any commands and can execute configuration and management commands. That's a difference between these two modes. Next, we need to enter global configuration mode. So when the privileged executive mode, one of the commands starting with the letter C is configure. So here it's configure. Look at the explanation, is enter configuration mode. Configuration mode is also called global configuration mode. That is because from configuration mode, a user can make configuration changes that affect the operation of the device as a whole. So it is called global configuration mode. Let's look at how the global configuration mode look like. So let's type configure. Okay, configure, the enter. So there's information is displayed. Configuring from terminal, memory, or network. In this bracket, enclosed terminal. The terminal is default setting, because now we are configuring from the terminal, right? So we keep the default setting, press enter. So now the prompt changed to S1, then brackets enclosed config, then followed by a pound sign. This is how the global configuration mode look like. So we are in the global configuration mode now. Okay. All right, so now after we finish configuration, we need to exit global configuration mode. There are 3 ways, or we can use 3 commands to exit global configuration mode and return back to the privileged executive mode. Here list 3 commands. There's end, exit, or Control Z. And we use exit, EXIT. So now we exit configuration mode and return back to the privileged executive mode. And we try other two ways too, like configure terminal. All right, so we're in the configuration mode. And this time we use end. Okay, return to the privileged executive mode. And try configure terminal at Control Z. This time we use Control Z, the Control key, and press Z at the same time. Control key is at the bottom left corner. Z together, press, then return back to the privileged executive mode. All right, so we finish this part. And next is set the clock. Use a clock command. All right, so before we set up the clock, we need to check what is the original clock setting for the switch. So we use the show command. And from here, privileged executive mode, you can see there's a show command. Here is a show. The explanation is a show running system information. All right, so here is the show clock. So we show clock. So this information is 21 o'clock. So they use 24-hour format. So here's 21 is 9 p.m. 16 minutes, 34.454 seconds. All right, Sunday, February 28th, 1993. This is the original clock setting. So now we need to do the clock. We need to change the clock setting. Set up the current time. Now we use the context-sensitive help to find the command we need to use, the clock. So first, we type clock, enter. All right, so there is the information returned from operating system. It tells us that incomplete command. That means the clock, this command is an incomplete command. So we need to know what other part command we need, because this is only partial command. So let's clock space. We use the context sensitive help space question mark. All right, so that means set. That means we need to add a set after clock to set the time and date. Okay, set, we add a set, then space question mark again. Okay, next they tell us we need to add the hours, minutes, seconds, current time to this command. So here they give us the time is 3 p.m. 3 p.m. converted to 24-hour format. It is 15 o'clock. All right, so it's 15 o'clock, column 00 minutes, column 00 seconds, then space question mark. Okay, after the time we need to, the operating system tell us we need to set the day of the month. So here, the day of the month is January 31st, 2035. So I type January 31st, 2035, then enter. Okay, the operating system accepts this command. All right, so let's check if the clock setting is changed. We still use the show command, show clock. Okay, enter. So now this time, the time is 15 o'clock. 0 minutes, 15 seconds, like this. Wednesday, January 31st, 2035 is the same as we typed in the configuration. But before the time is 21 o'clock, 16 minutes or like that. So the clock changed, clock setting changed. All right. Next is explore additional command messages. the iOS provide various outputs for incorrect or incomplete commands. Continue to use clock command to explore additional messages that may be encountered as you learn to use iOS. So now we test the tab completion. So clock, we still use a clock, CL, then use tab, but it doesn't work. Tab doesn't work. So that means the letter we typed are not enough to make the command unique. So we need to add one more letter, O, clock, then tab. Yeah, it works this time. It's a clock come out. All right, so let's see, clock set at 25 o'clock, 00 minute, 00 second, enter. Okay, there's a marker. The information is returned by operating system. It says invalid input detected at this marker. Okay, there's a marker under 25. So because we only have 24 hours a day, so here is 25. So it says invalid input. All right, so it's incorrect time. So let's change the time to clock setting. Clock set 15 o'clock, 00 minute, 00 second. Then let me type 32. All right, so should the day of the month, the 32, so it shows invalid input detected as this marker. So 32 is incorrect. So we need to change it. Okay, now we stop here today. This packet tracer. We finish this packet tracer. Navigate to the iOS. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please thumbs up and subscribe my channel and share with your friends. See you next time.